that, in the wake of Trump's decision to end DACA, there are some folks who are trying to amplify the rationale that he only did this because Congress needed to act and do it themselves. And this really doesn't make any sense. First of all, because Congress hasn't been able to get its act together to pass any reforms to the immigration system in 16 years. But secondly, if you really wanted to preserve the program, if you really wanted to preserve protections for our dreamers, you would have gotten the votes for that legislation before you decided to end the program at the administrative level. So we know what's really going on here. This is coming from a man who is an apologist for white supremacists. This isn't contestable anymore. So what's going on here is morally obscene. It further subjects 800,000 Americans, including a handful of our BGSU students, to the continued existential fear and dread of racial profiling, detentions, and deportation. It would rip their families apart and take them away from the only home that they've ever known. So in the wake of that, what we have to do is exactly what we're doing right here. We have to stand up and fight back. I know that's a word that some of us shy away from, but we're in 2017. We have to show that our dreamers in Bowling Green, we have to show them that we stand with them 100%. We have to show them that we have their backs. Because ending DACA is cruel, it's wrong, and frankly, it's un-American. Last April, working with Waconexion and the Human Relations Commission, City Council passed Resolution 3662, which proclaims Bowling Green as a welcoming and safe community for immigrants. It condemns any discrimination, harassment, or unjustified deportations of immigrant residents of Bowling Green. And we did this because we saw what was coming and we'd seen what had already transpired. And we said that we wouldn't tolerate it. And so we have to reaffirm that today. As long as we're on city council, as long as we have a mayor who stands up against hatred, as long as we have city commissions and civic groups who do the same, then we're going to continue to fight hard to protect all members of our Bowling Green family. Because that's exactly what dreamers are. That's exactly what their families are. They are part of our Bowling Green family, and let no one tell you otherwise. So I'm really excited to hear about the mayor's letter, Sandy. Because earlier this week I had called on council and the mayor to join together to sign and send a joint letter to Congressman Latta and Senators Brown and Portman to make sure that Congress actually acts. So I'm hoping that council can supplement that effort in the best way that we can. Because right now what we need to be doing is focusing our energies on making sure that the DREAM Act, or something even stronger, is passed. So the best way of doing that right now is you need to flood the phone lines of Bob Latta, of Rob Portman. We know Sherrod Brown has our back, but it helps to call him too. Particularly call their local offices so that they make sure to actually hear your voices. But call them every single day. Take 5 minutes out every single day and call them until we get this done. Because we have to. An attack on some of us is an attack on all of us. So we need to recommit ourselves to defending every single one of us and recommit ourselves to a Bowling Green where every single one of us can actually live out their life in safety and freedom. These things should not just be reserved for some of us. And the fact is that while you do have folks here at home who don't understand the stakes here, who think that this is some abstract issue that doesn't affect them, this fight is at the local level. It starts here. It always has and always must and always will. And so if we don't do our part here, and if folks in other cities across the state and across the country don't do their work, we're not going to get this done. So, I like telling people who are a little nervous about getting involved in activism and trying to fight for the common good. They think that, it's work designed for someone else with some special set of qualifications or skills. It's not. The only thing that's ever changed anything in this country for the better is normal, everyday people fighting for something that they believe in. And that's true of all of you here today. So please do what you can, where you are with what you have, and help us keep moving forward on this to make sure that none of us have to suffer any longer.